Welcome to a 10-day tour of northern France. Whether traveling by rail or car, this itinerary offers a balanced mix of discovery, culture, and scenery that reveals a side of France many visitors overlook. The route combines distinguished architecture, dramatic seascapes, influential moments in European history, and communities that still feel connected to local traditions. You'll encounter celebrated sites, lesser-known corners, outstanding museums, and landscapes shaped by both nature and human ingenuity. Let's get going! Our northern France journey begins in Chartres, home to one of the most significant cathedrals ever constructed. The two towers of the UNESCO-listed Chartres Cathedral have defined the skyline for hundreds of years. Completed mostly during the 12th and 13th centuries, it's renowned for its wonderfully preserved stained glass. More than 150 original windows still fill the interior with rich blue, red, and gold light. The sculpted portals, the enormous altar, and the labyrinth embedded in the floor of the nave are all awe-inspiring. The cathedral is often regarded as a high point of French Gothic design. After, wander through the surrounding old town. Stone houses, narrow passages, and small squares extend outward from the cathedral precinct, resulting in a distinctly different atmosphere compared to other Normandy cities. As the sky darkens, don't miss Chartres en Lumière. During the summer's annual illumination event, projections transform dozens of buildings, bridges, churches, and public spaces into dazzling displays of light and color. It's a spectacle not to be missed. On your second day in Chartres, choose from several intriguing places to spend the morning. The International Stained Glass Center occupies a former granary near the cathedral. Its exhibits explain traditional glass-making techniques and showcase various works including contemporary designs. The Fine Arts Museum, housed within the former Bishop's Palace, is another option. Its holdings include paintings, decorative arts, archaeological finds, and period furnishings spread across elegant period rooms. For something unusual that'll make you smile, go to the Maison Picassiette. This small house was decorated over several decades by a local caretaker using broken ceramics, glass fragments, and mosaic patterns that cover nearly every surface, both inside and out. In the afternoon, amble around the lower town, where paths parallel the Eure River and connect gardens, footbridges, and riverside viewpoints. The route passes old mills, stone stairways, and sections of the city that many visitors miss. Finally, visit the Chartres Covered Market, a legendary hall where regional cheeses, baked goods, and local specialties can be found. In the morning on day 3, leave Chartres for Rouen, which ranks among Normandy's most important ports. Go first to Rouen Cathedral, a monumental landmark built over several centuries. Its intricately carved facade inspired a series of paintings by Claude Monet. Inside you'll find a soaring nave and elaborate chapels. From there, walk over to the Gros Horloge, a richly decorated astronomical clock suspended above the street since the 14th century. Climb into the mechanism chamber and enjoy elevated vistas across the central district. Next, follow the pedestrian lanes through the Old Quarter, where timber-framed dwellings, cobblestones, and market squares highlight Rouen's medieval past. A narrow canal flows nearby, passing old mills and stone-fronted houses. Make your way to Place du Vieux Marché, where Joan of Arc was executed in 1431. Beside the square, the modern Church of St. Joan of Arc contains remarkable stained glass windows, rescued from an earlier building destroyed during the Second World War. Later, stroll along the Seine waterfront. Former industrial quays have been transformed into promenades lined with cafes, gardens, and public art. Still in Rouen on day 4, we'll take in a different side of the city. Find a museum that interests you. If you're nautically inclined, the Maritime Museum might be of interest. Board the Pom-Pom Rouge for a tour. You'll find the unique wrought iron museum in a former church. It's the world's only museum entirely dedicated to the timeless art of wrought ironwork. Afterward, head to St. Ouen Abbey Church. Although often overshadowed by the cathedral, this immense structure features towering stained glass windows and a sizable pipe organ and is worth seeing. Continue uphill to Côte Sainte-Catherine. The walking route takes you to an area that gives you views of church steeples, bridges, the Seine, and the surrounding countryside. It's one of the best urban panoramas in Normandy. End your stay in Rouen at Saint-Maclou, an ornate Gothic church surrounded by some of the city's most impressive streets. Tucked in behind is the Étretat and Saint-Maclou, a rare 16th-century plague cemetery. Enclosed by timber galleries decorated with carved skulls and gravediggers' tools, the site now serves as a tranquil courtyard where art exhibitions and cafes create a striking contrast with its somber past. On the morning of Day 5, Étretat is your destination, a Normandy coastal town about an hour north, famous for its majestic white chalk cliffs. Trace the footpaths above the shoreline to reach the natural arches and the eye-catching needle-shaped rock formation known as l'Aiguille. These geological features have attracted painters, photographers, and visitors for generations, and remain among the most recognizable coastal landscapes in France. Before departing, Les Jardins d'Étretat are not to be missed. These sculpted gardens are a blend of landscape architecture and contemporary art, perched on the Normandy cliffs. It's definitely not your typical botanical garden. In the afternoon, drive to Le Havre, about 30 minutes away. This UNESCO site was rebuilt after extensive wartime destruction. Step inside St. Joseph Church, whose tall lantern tower contains thousands of colored glass panes, creating an incredible display of light. Then, visit the MoMA Museum, celebrated for housing a vast collection of Impressionist works, including some by Renoir, Pissarro, and Monet. Finish Day 5 along Le Havre's seaside. Look for the Cathedrals de containers and the well-known volcano building as you wander. Day 6 takes us to Honfleur, an idyllic port town at the mouth of the Seine estuary that has attracted merchants, sailors, and artists for centuries. Begin at the Vieux Bassin, the old marina that forms the heart of the town. Slate-covered facades line the shore, while colorful pleasure craft and fishing boats occupy the sheltered basin. You'll want to see St. Catherine's Church, the largest wooden church in France. Constructed during the 15th century by local shipbuilders, its distinctive interior resembles the inverted hull of a vessel. The separate bell tower stands across the square, delivering the most recognizable scene in Honfleur. Continue through the harbor district, where compact lanes reveal art galleries, specialty shops, workshops, and period buildings that reflect Honfleur's long maritime heritage. Afterward, the Eugène Boudin Museum awaits. Its galleries showcase Normandy artists, including Boudin, whose paintings helped make Honfleur a renowned destination for landscape art. End the day with a leisurely stroll through the Garden of Personalities, a waterfront park featuring sculptures of notable figures connected to the region, including explorers, artists, and writers. It's Day 7 and we're traveling 90 minutes west to Bayeux, a city with an exceptional blend of Middle Ages charm and pivotal wartime significance. Your first stop is the Bayeux Tapestry Museum, home to the nearly 230-foot embroidered masterpiece that chronicles William the Conqueror's invasion of England in 1066. The outstanding level of detail delivers an unusually vivid account of ancient warfare, ships, weapons, and daily life. Then, go to the 11th century Bayeux Cathedral. Admire the crypt, stained glass windows, and the grand central tower that dominates the skyline. Meander through the old town, where cobblestone lanes connect stone structures and refined townhouses. Roam along the Our River, crossing footbridges and passing attractive riverside green spaces and several water wheels. After lunch, take in the Museum of the Battle of Normandy. Military vehicles, equipment, and exhibits provide valuable context for the events that unfolded across the region in 1944. Across the road is the Bayeux War Cemetery, the largest British World War II cemetery in France, serving as the final resting place for more than 4,000 Commonwealth soldiers. In the evening, find a restaurant that serves typical Normandy food such as coquille Saint-Jacques. Day 8 is devoted to the D-Day coast, where some of the most consequential events of the Second World War took place on June 6, 1944. Start at Omaha Beach, the most challenging landing sector assigned to American forces. Today, the broad stretch of sand appears peaceful, but interpretive displays explain the scale of the operation and the obstacles faced by the troops who came ashore here. A short drive away is the Normandy American Cemetery. Here, about 9,000 white marble headstones overlook the coastline, while exhibits and personal accounts document the stories of those who fought during the campaign. Check out Pointe du Hoc, where U.S. Army Rangers scaled 100-foot cliffs under enemy fire. Craters from bombardments remain visible throughout the headland, producing one of the most impactful landscapes on the entire route. In the afternoon, arrive at Arromanches-les-Bains, where you'll learn the important story of the immense artificial Mulberry Harbor. Built by towing giant concrete sections across the English Channel and assembling them off the coast, it enabled the rapid unloading of troops and supplies. The clifftop outlooks provide the best understanding of this extraordinary engineering achievement. Before returning to Bayeux, stop at Longues-sur-Mer. Its coastal gun battery remains almost fully intact, allowing visitors to enter bunkers and observe artillery positions, and gives sightlines across the English Channel. Day 9 brings us to Caen, recognized as an important historical center in Normandy. First, visit the Abbaye aux Hommes, founded by William the Conqueror and a significant religious monument. William's tomb can still be seen inside. Carry on toward the nearby Abbaye aux Dames, established by William's wife. Its graceful architecture and peaceful grounds offer a contrast to the imposing fortifications more common in the area. The Caen Castle warrants some time. It's the largest fortified enclosure in Europe. Established in the 11th century, the complex contains gatehouses, museums, and a delightful inner courtyard. Just beneath the castle you'll find the Vaugueux Quarter, Caen's most lively neighborhood where half-timbered houses and cobbled lanes survived World War II. Today, this inviting enclave is lined with some of Caen's best restaurants. Then, explore the rebuilt city center, where broad avenues and modern architecture reflect Caen's recovery following extensive wartime destruction. On our final day, we'll set out for Mont-Saint-Michel, among the most visited sites in Europe. Once inside the gates, the winding avenues lead upward through the village. Small shops, old-world houses, and charming vantage points appear around nearly every corner, offering frequent opportunities to stop and admire the surrounding bay. Construction on the Mont-Saint-Michel Abbey began approximately 1,000 years ago. Look around the cloister, refectory, terraces, and great halls that once accommodated monks and pilgrims arriving from across Europe. Walk the ramparts encircling the settlement. These elevated pathways provide excellent perspectives of the tidal flats and the constantly changing conditions surrounding the mount. As evening approaches, remain on the island after the day trippers depart. You'll enjoy quieter streets, illuminated nighttime views, and the dramatic shifting tides in quiet solitude. Thanks for joining this journey through northern France. After 10 days, you've experienced far more than a collection of famous attractions. You've traced centuries of craftsmanship, examined defining chapters of European history, encountered memorable coastal settings, and explored communities with their own distinct character. This itinerary demonstrates just how much there is to uncover beyond the country's biggest destinations. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with others who prefer realistic pacing and detailed itineraries that balance classic attractions with places many travelers overlook. See you in another Travel Top 10 video where we'll spend 10 days in a different region of Europe.